Yo ho ho ho! We're back again to talk about one of my top 3 tech types in Pirate Warriors 4. Now, obviously, the best is Law. He's a Logia. He's got crazy good attack range. Second best is Kinemon. He's DLC. He has some of the craziest setup. But wouldn't I tell you? It's not Kuzan who is the top 3. That's right, it's actually Ivankov. Get your hee-haws ready. Now, Ivankov is a special type of tech type. They lost one of their largest mechanics from Pirate Warriors 3 by having it repurposed for 4. Now, for those of you who remember, in Pirate Warriors 3, Ivankov had the ability to use their unique Devil Fruit to enlarge the heads of their targets. However, in Pirate Warriors 3, this would result in you being able to set them up for colossal damage. In Pirate Warriors 4, they have retooled it into more of a crowd control mechanic. So we're going to take a look at how that factors into the tech typing, how you can utilize all of these weird Pirate Warriors 4 mechanics to your advantage and actually create some absurd kill count potential in Bounty Hunter on the New World. So we're just going to be running through everything. I'll be employing a couple of different builds, but peak Ivankov gameplay is going to involve a lot of hybrid combat similar to post-time skip Sanji. You're going to want to spend a pretty fair amount of time in the air and on the ground. However, there's also going to be a fair amount of you who will prefer Ivankov's ground game. So, we're going to start out with more of a ground-centered build. Now, for those of you on the ground, you'll definitely want to be running phase growth synthesis because this is going to be the fastest way to keep Ivankov's other key mechanic charged up as often as possible. Much like Captain Kidd, Ivankov has a self buff that increases a bit of their damage and a bit of their knockback. This special skill right here is going to, very much like Kidd's own self buff, it's going to max it out right away. Normally it takes about 1 to 2 attacks in order to max it out. So this can be useful if you're not on the air too often. For those of you also just getting started with Ivankov, you're probably not super used to them yet, so I would recommend healing Synthesis just to get used to them. Although as your final ult, you will not be favoring this, especially if you're running Cheat Death. Keep Out is also going to be a pretty useful ground-only Ivankov mechanic. And so other than that, we can just run down the skills. You just got your core 4, your Cheat Death, Hero Strength, Burst Enhancement, and your Hidden Resolve. As for your other 2 skills, you want to run Burning Resolve and Leadership. Burning Resolve, I have discovered, is actually very, very important with basically every character, and Ivankov is no exception. You'll be doing a lot of launchers with the way that I play. I would also recommend Power Overwhelming, especially if you have the DLC where everything is at level 5, or at least a handful of them are at level 5, but Power Overwhelming isn't necessary if you really want to succeed, but it's very useful for breaking armor at the very least, and that's one thing that Ivankov does not necessarily have a lot of options for. Let's get in there. Now, you want to start out with that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. There's your Death Wink. 2, 3, 4. Pretty short range, and it takes a while to come out, so I would not recommend using Death Wink, especially if you're going up against people like Kuzan. Now your light, heavy, is Rolling Spot. Really nice mobility use. And if you want to use it for more of a quick offensive, quick setup, you can use it like that, where you have the delayed input on it. Rolling Spa is also, oh, come on now. Rolling Spa is going to be your primary means of armor breaking, especially on the ground. Because that chip damage is just really, really nice, keeps them juggled. Alright, let's just get Kuzan right out of there. Alright. What a goofy little dash. 1, 2, and then you get that going. So you get Unizuma to pop out, use a couple of their Devil Fruit powers to cut up the ground, group enemies up, and then Ivankov hormones them up into the air again, while also charging that inherent buff which you now see emanating around them. This turns all of your death attacks into hell attacks. 1, 2. Now, for the charge to happen on your light heavy, you have to complete it. However, for your light heavy, it takes the charge right away without having to go the full combo. And that's the full combo, by the way, is light, heavy, heavy. So now, I should probably show this out in the chart because my point will be made better on the chart. So, when you're trying to build up max charges, the amount of inputs is going to effectively be the same. You'll have 4 inputs to get here, and you'll have 4 inputs to get here, right? On this input and on this input is where the charges happen. Not this one, though. Similarly, also not this one. I don't know why these 2 particular inputs here, they just never bothered giving you the charge on. The charge only occurs on the first hit of your C5 and the last hit of your C4. Don't know why that is, but if you happen to have the self buff, you can just get it fully buffed out right away. I will also say, however, if you have your Force Burst enhancement, you get a seemingly endless reserve of Hell Sauce. You can just whip out those Hell Winks all day while you're in your Force Burst. Ivankov is one of the few characters where using their Force Burst purely for the activation effect of buffing them out is a truly powerful strategy, because you can just keep doing it. For some truly unique synergies there. What you just saw there was the light, heavy. The good old-fashioned C5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your Hellwing. This is a nice little bit of damage, and also great setup for armor broken targets to get pulled into some real damage. What you just saw there was the keep out special skill. Inazuma cuts them up in a very similar pattern to your C3, but it does a bit more damage, particularly to armor. So if you're not running power overwhelming, I would actually recommend that you run keep out, because it's a really nice variation to use to set up for targets that are not armor broken. Now, let's, there's the launcher. Same pattern as everyone else. Light, heavy. This is an incredible light heavy in the air, because it has that same broken property that Sanji's and Ace's meteors have, where it can just annihilate health bars if you angle it correctly. This will be a pretty essential tool for breaking people's armor, regardless of which build you're using. It's quick, it's powerful. Even on armor broken targets, you'll see health bars go flat out. Light in the air is a little bit of that laser hair removal fist, complete with lasers. And if you want the delay input on this, since it's a spammable, you just wait for them to stop flurrying without inputting, and then you input one more time before you get so rudely interrupted, as I just did there. This move is actually pretty solid for crowd control, so long as you're not getting a Frankie family mob on your ass. By the way, this would be a good opportunity to show the crazy healing that you get from that face synthesis. So yeah, let's just show that again real quick. Healing synthesis gives you a nice bit of healing, if you like that sort of thing. If you're not running cheat death, wouldn't say that this is a bad ult to run. Now, 1, 2, 3 in the air. This will give you a full charge for your Hell Sauce. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the air. Gives you a double aerial Hell Wink. This move, I would actually recommend more in the air than on the ground, because on the ground, 2, 3, 4, it has that input from the laser, and it's a little slow, and sometimes that can get you bursted. In the air, this just comes out much faster. And then finally, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the air. That Death Wink in the air, slightly better than on the ground, but also wouldn't recommend playing it out. There's better options for her in the air. For him. Pretty sure Ivankov is in. We're not going to go into that. For them. Them is the safe option, because I'm pretty sure that Ivankov has identified as beyond gender multiple times. There ain't no classical definition for what Ivankov is, except possibly pan. Possibly. Alright, that's not what this guide is for. So, this is Ivankov's bread and butter. Now I'm going to show y'all how I play Ivankov. We're going to get in there with the true moveset. Newkama Kenpo. There was a stillness in the air as the music looped back to its starting point. But also, the music knew it was time to become galaxy-brained Ivankov. We're gonna bring back that Pirate Warriors 3 mechanic with hilarious effect. This is my own personal favorite Ivankov build, but it also requires a bit more of an advanced understanding, not just of your fundamentals, but also of Ivankov's weird face growth mechanic. So, back in Power Wars 3, Ivankov had this mechanic where you could just turn mobs of enemies into projectiles that would decimate your foes, as you can see now. And also, Galaxy Wink, as you just saw there, is the superior ult. It could be used in the air. It has insane damage. Oh, and by the way, these poor head-bloated specimens have some weird crowd control mechanics that I can only describe as physics-based. If you set them up, leave them there, they'll stay there for a while, and this skill will come back quick. So you can just do it again, and then you can beat them. They'll build momentum and take a ton of damage when the move ends. And they'll also roll over anything in their path for a surprising amount of chip damage, including to armored targets, which is why we were able to decimate crocodiles so quickly earlier. Combined with Ivankov's ridiculous amount of smash properties from all of their hell attacks, and the kill potential that comes from being in your force burst long enough. Let's just go in there and show them how it's done real quick. Actually, you know what though? This is a bad map. This is a bad map for Ivankov. Oh, I've been excited for this one, folks. Ivankov, discovering how this character plays was not inherently obvious, like most tech types in this game. But Ivankov's payoff was immense. Oh, perfect. Right into the arena with Sabo. Let's go, candies. I'll show you. Oh, yeah, what a perfect AI to show the potential against two. Nope. So the other reason why I don't prefer the self buff on Ivankov is because there are so many times where I'm already in the air, and I'll just whip out the aerial C4 just to round off a bit of charge. So you're just going to see me spamming the head growth synthesis a lot, and I keep forgetting this, and I have to show you. When you're pulling out the head growth, you can dash cancel out of it like I just did there. I'm going to do it again right here. Just to show that you don't need to play out that ridiculously lengthy animation. And in addition to that, one of the other added benefits of keeping Ivankov's Force Burst ready and ripped is so that you can use it on a bunch of candies real quick to boost their momentum even more. And let me tell you, these poor candies, once their heads are all bloated, they turned into some wonderful tools of securing kill counts. By the way, just to give you all an idea, most of the top tier characters, in my opinion, in this game can average 1,000 kills a minute. Right now, my Ivankov kill count is about 900, a little closer to 1,000. I'm telling you, Ivankov might be one of the most slept on characters in this game. Are they S tier? No. For sure, no. Are they low A tier? I would argue they're even mid A tier, to be honest. With the right build up. So that's another way that I like to use the grounded C2. Set them up, go into a launcher, start my aerials. Aerial Galaxy Wink, an incredible tactic. Return to the ground with a meteor. Into a Hell Wink. And Blackbeard steals my kill. That's fine. It's literally no different than Summit War. It's Summit War all over again. Had to snipe my opportunity. I understand. It's a pirate's world. Also, Hell Wink is a hilarious way to get around the map a little bit quicker too. Alright, let's go get that transport commander before they beat a fast retreat on us. This is a risk, but it was worth it. I was about to say, is Marco actually still alive right now? Oh yeah, let's just let the good times roll. Quite literally roll, by the way. You'll be rolling a lot of them. And then naturally you'll want to keep burning Resolve as a skill to allow yourself the joy of seeing Ivankov infinitely butt dashing forward into battle. Also, as you just noticed, activating Galaxy Wink also triggers the roll on these candies. So does Hell Wink. So does really anything with a knockback on it. But curiously enough, the most unique property that does this is also in your Force Burst. When you activate it, it will in fact trigger their roll animation as well. See you later, Dofi. Idiot. Oh yeah, also Ivankov's base damage is pretty crazy in their form burst. So spam those Hell Winks. They're going to clear targets out in seconds flat. Oh no, you didn't. You're getting folded, Croco boy! Alright, we need a couple more kills. Let's go help out over here. And as you can see here, once you start getting that just inherent understanding of Ivankov's weirdness, you can start getting weird with your own variations. Naturally, I am not the overall authority on all things Pirate Warriors 4. I'm just here to check out the potential of the unexplored. And Ivankov has been a ridiculous mountain to climb. But the payoff has been truly wonderful, as we are about to see. Those aren't even my best figures either. One time I actually managed to get, I think it was like 80, like 600 in about 7 minutes and like 50 something seconds flat, or whatever. It was nuts. Ivankov is hilarious and a little strong in this game. Get used to flexing in between their aerial setups and their crazy knockback potential. You have yourself a good time in the works. Thanks for sticking around for this guide, and I will see you for the next one.